Today we got Urban Necessities and their story. What happened to them basically? Let's see what happened.
It was about hustle,
If you're from the sneaker community, you kind of know who they are.
second chances, and proving that your past doesn't define your future. That was the vision behind the brand Urban Necessities.
I've seen them
Founded by
before.
2J's Kicks or JC Lopez.
2J's
From homeless
Kicks.
to headlines, he turned a suitcase and $40 into a multi-million-dollar sneaker empire. And for the past 10 years, if you've had any involvement or interest in the sneaker or hypebeast world, you know
The
who
hypebeast
Urban
world.
Necessities and JC Lopez, 2J's Kicks is. But what a lot of people don't know is behind the scenes, a darker story was unfolding. What started as a handshake deal with people that he called his friends quickly turned into a slow, painful death of this company that he built.
Never trust your
Suddenly,
friends.
JC found himself locked out of his own business, completely stripped of control, but at the same time legally responsible for a company that he no longer had access to. What happened to
Yikes.
Urban Necessities isn't just about a business dispute. It's a cautionary tale of trust, ownership, and what really happens when paperwork doesn't match promises. This is the story of how Urban Necessities fell apart from the inside out.
Here we go.
At Foot Locker, we're celebrating the season. Foot Locker, we got you. At Foot Locker, we're celebrating the season. Foot Locker, we got you.
It doesn't sit well with us. Your hard-earned money sitting in traditional bank accounts, collecting more dust than interest.
Shout out to Chance.
Before we get into this, I just want to say that everything that I'm about to say is alleged, and everything that I'm about to say in this video is
Allegedly.
publicly available information that has been provided by JC Lopez on his 2J's Kicks account. This timeline and all this information was provided by him on a few different Instagram lives. I am simply just sharing the story as it is presented, and I have full respect to both parties. And now that I am legally safe, let's get into
There
this
you go.
video. So, for those of you who don't,
And I agree with
2J
whatever he said. So I'm not
Kicks,
gonna
or
let it.
JC Lopez, is a self-made sneaker entrepreneur and influencer in this space. Born on October 6, 1979, 2J's rose
Dang,
from
1979?
homelessness and panhandling, literally living out of parks and motels, to founding one of the largest consignment stores in the whole world, which is known as Urban Necessities.
That's
and
pretty
by
hard.
2019, the store was ranked nearly $21 million in annual sales. And
Damn.
aside from just the brand and the store itself, 2J's is also an influencer in his own state. From YouTube to Instagram to SneakerCon, like Urban Necessities aside, 2J is still a public figure himself, and he's known
Yeah,
for
he
his
is a public
openness
figure.
and being a real genuine person. And JC has shared his story and his lifestyle plenty of times on YouTube and Instagram, and his goal was to make Urban Necessities more than just a store. He wanted it to be a destination, like a sneaker museum. And if you've never seen his store in Las Vegas, it
Never
is
seen it.
truly like the holy grail.
Oh
of
yeah,
urban
yeah,
sneakers.
yeah. I have
This
seen
is
it.
by
I've
far
seen
one
it.
of the coolest and best sneaker shops in the entire world. I mean,
I've
it
seen
is
it once.
truly insane to see it in person. And
It's
this
pretty
store,
nice.
Urban Necessities, is truly a testament to JC's hustle, his authenticity, and his way
You could
of
tell
being
his
passionate
shoes are
with the
expensive
purpose
there,
of the sneaker culture. Urban Necessities
could
was
tell.
once one of the most iconic sneaker consignment stores in the world, but behind the success, there was a slowly burning collapse. Betrayal, legal chaos, financial fallout, and this is how it all came crashing down.
Here we go.
And this is just speaking on my personal experience with this. For those of you who don't know, I've been doing YouTube for a few years now in the sneaker space. I've been to, at this point, hundreds of sneaker cons, and I personally know a lot of sneaker content creators in this space. And
It's
for
funny.
a while, I would hear a lot of mixed emotions about 2J's. People would tell me that he's a scammer, he's a fraud. Some people would tell me that he was the one that was getting screwed over. A lot of people said a lot of good things about him. A lot of people
I
said
know,
a lot
I
of
hear the
bad
same
things
thing.
about him. It seems like anybody that you asked in the sneaker world, they
It
had a
just
different
depends on who you
philosophy.
ask,
But the
yeah.
biggest problem in this whole mess was that consigners were not getting paid, some for even 3 years. And for those of you
What?
who don't know, Urban Necessities is a consignment-based sneaker store. Basically, to break it all down for you, you bring a pair of shoes to sell at the store. So when you look around in this sneaker store, there's
It's got
hundreds of
hella
thousands of pairs of
inventory.
shoes in there. But 2J's or Urban Necessities doesn't
Would never pay
necessarily
the person.
own the sneakers. Sneaker resellers bring their shoes and their inventory to the store and leave them there. And whenever the store, Urban Necessities, sells the sneakers, they keep a very small percentage and then they send the rest of the money back to the consignor or the sneaker reseller. Basically, the store is just a middleman between the reseller and the customer. Because for the most part, sneaker stores don't have the money to just go and buy thousands and thousands of pairs of sneakers to resell. And also, if they don't sell all these sneakers, they're stuck with like just a bunch
Endless
of shoes that
pairs.
they can't sell. So consignment seems like a win-win scenario for the reseller and the store, but it turned out to be a disaster.
Yeah, consignment. Don't ever do that with your shoes. Ever.
So recently, the sneaker blogs have been posting on
Jeez.
Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and consigners at the store are stating that they haven't been paid for years, months,
Damn.
that 2J's owes them thousands and thousands of dollars. Basically, they sold the shoes and kept all the money instead of giving the majority of the money back to the reseller.
Well,
And after a
duh.
while, it began to go viral on social media. People
was
were
gonna do
saying,
that,
go
come on.
to Urban Necessities and get your sneakers. They are not paying us back. People were even going as far as saying that the store was millions and millions of dollars in debt. And basically, they were saying that 2J's was not to be trusted. And during all this, if you go on 2J's
Bro's
Instagram
traveling the
page,
world.
you see him driving Lamborghinis, opening stores in Saudi Arabia, and living a very luxury, lavish lifestyle. So, of course, JC became the center of all this hate. But nobody knew what was really going on behind the scenes until June of this year. People started to notice that 2J's was not following the Urban Necessities page, and he honestly didn't associate it with any of his posts. And on June 14th, JC made an Instagram post that shocked the world. And I'm not going to read all of it, but it pretty much states, 2J said, I've recently been aware of the public concerns regarding Urban Necessities, particularly in regarding unpaid consigners and returned items. And the most
Since
important part
November 2022, I have not been in here. Oh,
of this
damn.
post is that he said, I want to make it clear, since November of 2022, I have not had any involvement in the company's day-to-day operations, decisions, or
Liar.
financial practices. And he also said that the store's opening in Saudi
Liar.
Arabia was a licensed partner and was independently owned and managed.
Bro, you know he's lying. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
And this became
Stop
a very
it.
viral topic because 2J
Allegedly,
was a
though.
very authentic, open person. People wanted to know what was going on. You're telling me that this brand that everybody thought that he owned since 2022, he hasn't. So what is going on? And as of this last week, as of the current time that I'm recording this, he released 3 different Instagram
Oh,
lives,
shit.
pretty much explaining this entire thing since 2022 up until the present day. And the truth finally came out.
Here we
And
go.
this timeline and all this evidence that I'm going to provide to you guys came from these Instagram lives. 2J
From
stated
the source
that this
himself.
all started in February of 2022 when he came out and said that his wife had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And for those of you who don't know, JC's wife is pretty much
Nah, bro. It's just a coincidence that when everybody got scammed, his wife was having cancer. Nah. I don't believe. Even if his wife was having cancer, that still doesn't excuse the fact that there's money missing. Nah. You see what these people try to do? They try to make you feel bad for them when they fuck you over by saying, "Oh, I'm in the hospital now. Lost you millions, but pray for me." Yeah, when I was losing millions, that's when I was during the. Come on, stop the bullshit.
his like ride or die. She has been with him
Even if his wife has cancer, man, respectfully, karma. I mean, what?
all of it, and she plays a huge role in the company.
Karma was coming back
I don't know
for some reason.
Sure. I think 2J's has mentioned that she owns half of the company, but don't quote me on this. I don't
Yeah,
know if
they're
she
lying.
legally owns half
They're
of
on
it,
bullshit.
or if he just figuratively said that. I don't know for sure. So that happened in February, and then in May 2022, following this, 2J's goes to SneakerCon and meets up with the shoe surgeon. And also, for those of you who don't know, the shoe surgeon is pretty big in this whole sneaker influencer space as well. Pretty much, he makes very high quality custom sneakers. And he's also done collaborations with Ruffles, I think Gucci at some point. He's very known, very well established, and he also has his own class where he teaches people how to create custom sneakers. And also, the shoe surgeon would sell these high-end, pretty much designer custom sneakers at Urban Necessities. And these cost a few $1,000s, like they are not cheap. 2J's meets up with the shoe surgeon and starts to begin discussing that he needs a little bit of help with Urban Necessities. After his wife had been diagnosed with cancer, it's going to cost a lot of money. Over the next
She looks fine to me.
few months, they begin discussing how they can work together and help Jay run Urban Necessities.
Respectfully, I hate when people say they have cancer. I don't know, but they have cancer and then they look like 100% fit. There ain't no way, bro. Not respectfully. How do you have cancer, but you're over here moving up and about? You're in sneaker, like SneakerCon. You're over here selling what you. Come on.
after this whole devastating news. And then in November 2022, 2J's signed a deal with the shoe surgeon to help him run the company. They came to a finalized legal paper agreement for the shoe surgeon, to my understanding, to help him with it. Apparently, the shoe surgeon and his legal team paid out JC a bunch of money, and he said that they used that money to pay their taxes and they bought properties for their friends and family. But in the contract, 2J's wife was not removed as a managing member, even though that was kind of the whole point of this, was because she had cancer and he had to help her deal with the cancer stuff. Like, he didn't have time. And
how does she have cancer and she's over here fucking going out everywhere doing all these things? There ain't no way, bro. If I have cancer, bro, I'm not going out, bro. I want to rest. I want to like heal up. I'm not trying to. What?
that he reviewed the contract and he can say that he made the mistake. Like, it was in the writing. He just didn't think that, I guess, his friend would do him dirty like this. And after a few months, Jay realizes that he had no operational authority, yet still carries the legal liability for the company Urban Necessity. Basically meaning that the shoe surgeon and his team could do whatever they wanted, including taking out loans under the company's name, while Jay would be responsible for it still, legally. And then in September of 2023, Urban Necessities starts changing their consignor policies. Basically, they started changing the percentage that consignors would get without notifying the consignors. And around this point, consignors
after they get paid,
realize,
type shit.
like, hey, we're not getting paid for our stuff. Urban Necessities is selling our shoes and not paying us. Like, what the heck, you know? And people trusted JC. He was like a very notable person, very honest. And 2J's himself has even said that when he was owning the company, when he was still running it full time, he said he does take accountability for taking longer than expected to pay people back, but he said he always did. So in November of 2023, 2J's asked to be bought out of Urban Necessities. And 2J's and the shoe surgeon go back and forth, and they negotiate things out about what this buyout really means. And as of December of 2023, 2J's accepts the first buyout offer and signs the paperwork. Of course, but the shoe surgeon does not sign it. So they came to a mutual agreement, and 2J's actually posted this screenshot on his Instagram account, and it says $4.5 million, $500,000 initial payment, $900,000 in payments divided into 3 payments for 2024. And then I forgot to mention that in May 2023, Joni, 2J's wife, gave a $300,000 loan to Urban Necessities. So in this text, it says Joni payment to 5 months. I'm assuming that's what this was about, but don't quote me on that one. But in this, there's an arrow that points to the text that says transfer of liability of taxes and business. So this was supposed to be the buyout for 2J's, I'm assuming. But like I said, the shoe surgeon does not sign the contract, so it's technically not official. And 2J stated on this live that for months and months, they kept negotiating this whole buyout thing, but every month, the price got lower and lower and lower for this, to buy him out of the company. But yet they never signed it to officially.
What did 2J's do to that company?
And
Fuck
then May
that whole
2nd,
shit up.
2024,
Bro was
Urban
worried too much
Necessities
about traveling and doing
terminates
all this
employment,
bullshit.
preventing visibility on the brand. Plus, they delete company emails. And he said that they began to take out loans on the company, and any emails that had to do with his name and the company, they just wouldn't let him see. But yet his name was still legally attached to the brand. And as of October 8th, 2024, 2J signs a document to walk away from Urban Necessities for $0. So they went from $4.5 million to buy him out of the company to now $0. Like, that is how far they ran this brand into the ground with debts and all this kind of stuff. And then in June 2025, Surgeon Worldwide approaches 2J's about Urban Necessities potentially filing for bankruptcy. And I guess in the contract, I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, but one of these debts that Urban Necessities had occurred was the sales tax debt. And somewhere along this contract, 2J's was personally liable for the sales tax debt. And then in the same month that they were talking about filing for bankruptcy, June 2025, this month, the Department of Taxation seizes 4 of 2J's and his wife's accounts and the Urban Necessities accounts. They seized his account for not paying the debts. And for the past 3 years, this brand has been spiraling into the ground, and JC Lopez, 2J's Kicks, has been the face of all this, but it wasn't under his control. He didn't really want anything to do with it anymore. So the whole reason that this has came to the public eye now is because of just this month, 2J's Kicks has been posting about this on Instagram, basically letting his whole fan base know like what has been going on legally for the past 3 years, and also what's going on right now. But now it's too late. Him and his wife's accounts are frozen, and Jay stated that he is now selling his house and his personal items to pay back the consignors for the debts related to the company. JC said that he wants to do what's right. He wants to make sure that his consignors get paid. And he
now he does. because he's criminally gonna be liable. Now he wants to be helped. Like, nah, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. Bro wants to pay now that they froze his accounts. He can't use his money. Obviously, he's gonna want to pay now. He has no way else of paying. The fuck?
It's about his brand's upbringing. It's about his reputation. So, in this current moment, resellers are trying desperately to get their inventory out of Urban Necessities. 2J's Kicks and his wife's accounts are seized. They are selling their house and their personal items like cars and shoes and personal stuff to A, live, and B, to help pay back these consigners that once trusted in 2J's. And quite literally, 2J's is fighting for his life financially, while his wife is also fighting for her life literally with stage 4 cancer. But in good news, he is determined to take back control and at least get the debts paid back for the consigners. But in order for him to do this, he needs his company back fully in his hands legally. And it's just been a mess in this last month of social media stuff. Now, there is a few things that I want to say regarding to this whole situation. Yes, it appears that 2J's is completely in the right and that he owns up to everything, but there is two sides to every story, and we have not heard the story from the shoe surgeon or his company's side yet. During this whole time of this whole legal battle with the shoe surgeon and Urban Necessities and 2J's, the shoe surgeon has been getting sued by Nike. Yes, these custom shoes that he was making were not legally licensed or anything by Nike, but basically Nike is suing him for remaking their Nike shoes and selling them for hire, and also hosting his like shoe surgeon custom shoe class and using Nike shoes, but they're not officially branded, like they're not officially licensed Nike shoes. So during this whole situation, the shoe surgeon has been getting sued by Nike, and people are speculating that the only reason he did this whole thing with Urban Necessities was to take 2J's money and Urban Necessities money and use this money and take these loans out to pay off his Nike legal situation that he's got going on. And just as of this week, I've been seeing that the shoe surgeon and Nike actually made a settlement to an undisclosed amount. And people are speculating that he took the money from Jay and Urban Necessities to fund this whole Nike lawsuit ordeal. But the brand Urban Necessities, who is run by the shoe surgeon and his company, they did make a statement, and they said, "We're aware of the public statements about Urban Necessities. We prefer to handle our legal matters privately, and we feel that it's necessary to clarify a few key points." I'll let you guys read this on the screen. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But basically, they're saying that there was mismanagement by 2J's, and that 2J's mishandled funds and taxes, and that it only came to light after they took over. So basically, they said that 2J's pretty much ran his own company into the ground and then signed them, and he's now blaming it all on them.
I kind of believe it.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Because why would he ever try to sell out right when he got with the shoe surgeon? He was trying to sell him that company real quick after he got with them. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Bye. Have a great time.